Hey Suraj, this is Dev. I'll be demonstrating you my software, bike rental software. Um, so we'll start off by I'll close this and run it again. Um, so this is the main screen. There's no login system. Um, so if I wanted to add customers, we'll start off by like doing tests in between as well. So it won't allow me to add blank customers. Please enter a customer name. So I'll do Surge, phone number, email. So if I just type in Surge as email and the address, it won't let me because it needs to be a valid email. So if I type in Surge at gmail.com, that's a valid email, so it'll allow me to add it. But two M's at the end just because there's a duplicate one. So all of these have blank checks on them, and all the customers would be added, or blank validation checks, and all the customers will be added to this table below. So if I close this and reopen it, the customers still should be there, because they're all stored or serialized into the customers file. Same with the bikes, loads, and the transactions. So if we go to the bikes, I can, all the bikes from the brief are stored here, like 10 standard bikes, 10 each of each size, 10 of each sporty, adult, kids, tandem, couple of test ones. So if I wanted to delete bikes, all I have to do is click on it, and delete. Simple. So we'll add a test bike, bike number 114, make, test, type, unisex, test, small. We'll do a daily rate of 10 and an hourly rate of 5. So if I save that, let's say I wasn't happy, or I wanted to change the daily rate to 20. All I have to do is do 20, change the hourly rate to, I don't know, 10. Let's say I wanted to, so it won't let me change the bike number because that's unique to it. But if I wanted to make the bike make to test 1, test 1, test 1, change the type to men, the size to male, medium. If I click update, it changes all the fields that I wanted it to, except for the bike number. So hourly rate is 10, so let's say I wanted to hire the bike to the customer we just made, which was Surge, and a bike, 114. So the ones we deleted still show up here, so if I click refresh, it would go away, and it will update with a new list. So 114, deposit amount, let's say it was 50. So 50, and you hire it out. So you show up over there, and if I want to return it, I just click here. And let's say you hired it out for 2 hours. If I remember correctly, the hourly rate was 10, so this would be 20, 20 pounds, so the remaining amount would be 30, or minus 30, so that's how much I have to give you back. Yeah, so minus 30, and I can return it. So, let's say there's a late fee, you could do like an extra hour for being late. You can charge an extra 2 hours worth. Yeah, so if I refresh it, it shows up as false, which is a bug, so it'll give me console errors. However, if I close this, restart this, open to, it'll show up as true. So, and it'll also give me the updated amount of 20, which is the total price you paid. So if I wanted to search for a bike, I could sort it numerically, like with numbers, or I could also sort it by make, so ascending, so like ABC, or descending. Same with model, all these types, even by daily rate or hourly rate. The same goes for customers. I can sort the emails alphabetically or by phone number or by name. Um, um, in the example of customers, if I want to see how many bikes total Surge has ever hired, I could sort it by customer email, and I see Surge has um, two bikes hired here with the same email. So my system, a bug or a weakness, I guess, is that customers. So when I put in an email, so let's say I try and add in another surge, there is no duplicate checks. Gmail.com. There's no duplicate checks on any of this. Same with the bikes. The bike numbers are not unique. I've simply manually added them uniquely. But if I wanted to add another bike, let's say 99, bike number 99, yeah, so while I'm doing that, I could also show you that you can't, it won't let me put in text as a daily and higher rate. So if I try and do this, it won't let me. It'll give me console errors, but on this end, nothing will show up unless I put in a number, which is, I don't know, 55 and 5. Then it will show up. So yeah, it adds a duplicate check, or a duplicate bike, which is a weakness in my system or a bug. But I can delete them. I have purposely made it so you can't delete customers. However, it works the same as customers or transactions can't be deleted. However, it works the same as bikes. I just felt I didn't need to add a delete button for customers because I'd rather it all be stored. However, I do recognize that like if there's a typo or something like that, then the customers are stored in the database forever. Um, so another bug in my system is it'll accept negative numbers. So if I add a bike, 114 bike make, I don't know. So if I add a bike, let's say with a daily rate of -10 and an hourly rate of -5, this will accept it, and it will put as -10 and -5. And let's say I hide it out to Surge, 14 deposit. Let's say you paid 50. It when I go to return it, so the hourly rate is -5. So if I did 5 hours on the bike, it would be -25 on top of the 50. So I would be it's just a bug. So more money would be given out rather than, so I would be giving you 75 instead of you paying me. That's a bug. So if I return it, obviously I can't refresh it because it just gives me console errors. And open it twice. So yeah, over here it shows that instead of you paying me, I refunded you minus 25. That's the total amount I gave you. So yeah, so that's a bug. Another bug in my system is if I try and it's more so a weakness rather than a bug. So if I hire out a bike, and let's say the bike was hired out for 1 day and 2 hours, it wouldn't it won't let me accept this. I need to either add 1 day. Sorry, I put 20. It needs to be either days or hours. So if I do 24 plus 2, 26 hours, that's total 1 day and 2 hours. So this way, the customer will be charged more because daily rate is slightly lower than an hourly rate times 24. So this way, a customer would be charged a lot more. And yeah, that's sort of a weakness of my system. So yeah, total they paid was 130. Sorry, I used the negative bike. But point is that you can't do days and hours. Yeah, that's a weakness of my system. Another weakness of my system is you can't search for customers. So if there's thousands of customers, then in my drop down here to hire them, I'd have to manually find the customer. There's also no sort function or like sort filter like in this case. So I would have to manually find all the customers on here. Another one is that if I just close this tab, there's no way to get that customer tab back. And if I close all of them, I'm just left with this screen, which is a blank screen. So to mitigate this, I have to close the system and restart it. On this screen, bikes are shown. It won't show bikes that are hired out. So in this case, I would have to find a bike on here to see if it's hired out, rather than on here. There's also no date field, so when a customer hires a bike, there is no indication for the user that the bike was hired on this date, and when the customer comes back to return it, that was a difference between that was how long it took him. So I would have to rely on the customer telling me how long they've hired it for. Yeah. And the last, I guess, weakness is if I want to change the price of a standard bike to, let's say, $16.99, I would have to manually change it all to 16 rather than select all of them. This can get annoying if there's loads of bikes of one type. So yeah, I guess that's a weakness. And yeah, that's my system. My code, I go a bit more in depth in my report. So yeah, thanks for listening.